This is Mitch with the 1000houses.com podcast. I'm here with Ron LeGrand. I don't have to tell you who he is, but if you don't know who he is, then I might explain that we started learning from him about 1996. That's me personally. I don't know exactly when he started, but I know that he's changed the lives of many a person. Just his strategies, his eye-opening approach to the business of real estate investing, the ability to go in with no money and make something happen positive and put some money in the bank on your side. It's all good stuff. And with no further ado, how you doing, Ron LeGrand?
Outstanding, man. Outstanding. Every morning I get up, it's going to be a good day.
There you go. Well, you get up. That's the first sign it's a good day. Do you ever get tired of people just thanking you for all you've done for them? Because I know that even when I've been in the room with you, you must hear it like 10 times. Last time I saw you, I was kind of hovering in the background, and a lot of people credit you with changing their lives. You ever get tired of that?
No, sir. I'll let you know when I do.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about the state of the real estate investing economy and the economy in general and what your thoughts are on it. I don't know, a lot of stuff flying around, a lot of things going on. I don't know how deep you want to go into it, but what's your general feel for, let's start with real estate across the country?
Well, obviously it's going up like nobody in our lifetime has seen it go up. It's a weird market we're in right now. In many ways, it's a very good market, especially if you're selling houses, as you know. But inflation, frankly, is our biggest issue right now. And if that keeps going up, then the market can't help but come down. The higher the interest rates, the more less people are going to want to buy. But on the flip side of that, we got about a 4 million house shortage in this country right now. So we've never seen a situation like this before. This is not a 2008. You don't have the same conditions and the same reasons. So the truth is, Mitch, I don't know. You don't know. And there is nobody else alive that knows what's going to happen in the future to the economy. And honestly, I don't even listen to them when they try to tell us what's going to happen. I didn't believe them in the last 4 or 5 or 6 cycles we had. I don't believe them now. I don't think anybody knows. And not to get real political here, but frankly, it has a great deal to do with who's in office. And if we keep doing the crazy things we're doing now and spending money like it's free, it can't help but create some kind. We all know there's going to be a downturn. I mean, no doubt about that. We just don't know when, and that's the big question. And honestly, Mitch, I don't care, because it's the best thing that happened to real estate investors, as you well know.
I didn't invent this saying, but I sign my book with it all the time. It's wealth comes from chaos. It's an anonymous source that, as far as I know, or I give credit for it. But I always say wealth comes from chaos, because that's what entrepreneurs do. They find problems and they figure out a solution, and they figure out a little space where they can make some money, right?
Yep.
But why are house prices going up so fast, like never been seen before? Do you have any idea what that's about?
Well, I think the lower interest rates is a big part of it. I think the economy is doing well. People, at least for now, feel comfortable that they can turn loose of the money, and the American dream of home ownership has never died. And I'm not an economist, but in my world, I just adapt. I mean, we just adapt with the times, just like you do. This is a beautiful seller's market. It's a great time to sell, especially, I teach against personally guaranteed debt, as you well know. And what a great time to get out of personal guaranteed debt while the market is up and you can cash out of them and get top dollar for them plus, and then go out and get into all the non-recourse debt you can possibly get into and build your empire, just like you do. Which you're a great example of someone who's done just exactly that.
And the seller finance strategy, along with the buy and hold, I don't do a lot of buy and hold, unless it's like self-storages or whatever. But in houses, I like to do seller financing, and I carry the note from my buyer for 30 years at 10%, more or less. And that's proven to be very durable and dependable, because I was losing all the assets as a buy and hold guy, as a landlord, you have a lot of liabilities, everything from the mailbox at the front curb all the way to the back fence and everything in between, hot water heaters and all that. As a financier, you're just the mortgage company. And if the air conditioner breaks or the toilet leaks, it's not your fault because you don't own the house. You just own the payment. I really like that. It's proven through the last 2 recessions to boom because the banks usually close, right?
Yeah, they come and go.
Yeah, and if you're using private money to buy the houses at half price during the recession, you don't need the key is you can't need a bank on either end. So if you don't need a bank to buy, right?
You're right.
And your buyer doesn't need a bank to buy the house from you because you're financing him. You're like during the recession, you're blowing and going like you can't even keep up.
You are the loan committee. You
Yes.
are the one in control. You're the gatekeeper. They got to go through you. The only difference between what you do and what I do is I lease option them instead of selling with owner financing. But you live in Texas. You can get the house back faster and I can evict them here. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But on the other hand, you're giving up the depreciation and I'm getting the depreciation and I want the depreciation because the government's getting way too much of my money. And that depreciation kind of helps with that. And plus I get the upside. I know you get some of yours back and you get the upside on some of those, but as long as I own them, I'm in control of the upside. I'm buying
a house for 60 cents on the dollar, 65 cents on the dollar, and I'm selling it for 100 cents on the dollar or 110 cents since I'm the loan committee. I don't need an appraisal. So I get my appreciation. I don't know how much appreciation you guys want, but I usually do that. And my average days on the market right now is 4 for the last 150 houses. So, but the appreciation, you just have to, what I do is I wait till I have 5 or 10 or 15 notes, and then I just go pledge them at the bank and I go buy a self-storage, facility. And now I got $1 million worth of depreciation. I don't get it per house, but as I get some free and clear houses or I get some things, I go buy a storage facility. And then, and did you know this, Ron? I did not know this, but my CPA called me up and said, that 283 unit storage facility that you built last year that we got to deal with this year? I said, yeah. He goes, was it welded together or was it bolted together? I said, all the components were screwed together with nuts and bolts. He says, okay, we can accelerate your depreciation in 1 year. And I got an $800,000 tax write-off because it was a portable. It was not a permanent building because
I did not know that. Well, so what's the difference between bolted and welded?
Well, you can take it. One's permanent and one's temporary.
Oh, really? Okay.
Apparently.
Well, if that's the case, most cars are all temporary because they're bolted together. So I don't get that. Oh, anyway, but that's good to know. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Well, that's what I say. So it's just like people say, should I use a C or corporation, a C corp, or do you as an LLC or whatever? I said, doesn't, real estate, you really don't want to use C corporations, I don't think, but it really doesn't matter what you pick. Just learn how to win, right? That's what you taught me. Just pick a plan and win.
Exactly. And I do have some C corporations and I have some LLCs, mostly LLCs, but C corporations have an advantage. Mainly, they don't show on my tax return. Plus, it's a lower tax bracket than I would be in personally as a flow through from an LLC.
Yeah. So the first rule of the game I figured out real early was you have to learn how to make money. Yep. But very shortly after you learn how to make a lot of money, you're going to know that you need to go back to school to learn how to keep your money.
That's right. That's correct. And there's a whole school on just keeping it from the IRS.
Yes.
That's one gorilla we don't want to dance with.
Yes. But there's, legal ways to deal with it, right?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And in fact, when you sell that self-storage unit, I imagine you're going to exchange it because you don't want to recapture all that depreciation you just got this year.
Absolutely, because I have no basis anymore because I took all my depreciation in 1 year. I always have mixed emotions like, well, if I take it all this year, what the hell do I do next year? And someone said, well, you just have to buy another storage facility. I said, I have to buy one every year. And I said,
well, there you go. Yeah. At least until they change the tax law, they're going to.
Yeah. So, if there was such why is there a shortage of houses? Like, I'm trying to figure this out. Why is there a shortage of houses? The interest rates have been low. Builders have been building like crazy. I mean, are we having that many babies, or is there that many illegal aliens coming across the border? I mean, why are we so far behind on houses?
I'm just guessing here. One thing is the low interest rates. Absolute sure of that. Another thing is, I think we're post-COVID now, and all of the pent-up fear that went through that, people realized they can actually survive and make a living somehow. And I think that's what I heard someone tell me one time, that people learned during COVID how to make a living because they had no choice. They were forced out of their jobs and out of their businesses. And the whole world's changed post-COVID. Every time I go into a business, they can't find help. I mean, everything has changed. Restaurants can't find help. They change the way they do business. Are they closed part-time, or are they closed totally just because they can't find help? That's a bigger question. Why is that going on right now? I think it has something to do with the attitude during COVID and the attitude after COVID, combined with the interest rates, combined with the market is good right now. But from my experience, to be honest with you, most people have no idea what this inflation is doing to us. They never stop to think like that, But we are losing more than we're gaining for the most part in this high inflation. I just did a little speech on inflation and how much things have gone up, and I use some national averages. For example, gasoline 58%, which is even higher right now. Beef 40%. The cost of the materials to rehab a house 27%. The cost of a used car over 30%. All in 1 year, for crying out loud. So that's going to certainly have an effect on us going forward. But I don't know. I'm not the economist.
When I was averaging 9 days on the market, my owner financed homes before COVID, and when COVID hit, I dropped to 4. I dropped to 4 days, and it's been 4 days ever since, give or take.
Well,
right there, it dropped drastically, and the people started showing up with more money down. I didn't really understand.
Yep.
I don't understand why, but I guess that fear pushed people into some kind of mode where they felt like they needed to have some control of something, and at least they could own a house. And then a lot of people, my mobile homes and land, my land outside the city evaporated. People wanted away from the crowd.
I got you. Okay. Well, I can understand that.
Let's talk about that inflation. People are trying to liquidate because it's a time to liquidate, but honestly, I'm not sure you want to trade your real estate for cash, because I think your real estate's more inflation proof. Is it not, or am I wrong there?
Well, you forgot the rest of that sentence. Okay. I said, get rid of the personally guaranteed debt and then go get cheap and non-recourse debt and go buy all the houses you can without personally guaranteeing the debt. And, I'm in a terms business. We buy with terms, we sell on terms. We don't guarantee anything. Of course, when we get private loans, we don't guarantee the debt either. I want people to get out of guaranteed debt, Mitch, because that's the biggest mistake they make, in my opinion. And you ask people who went through 2008, and they'll swear to that. If you can build your business without guaranteed debt, every house you go out and buy without guaranteed debt is going to have cash flow. The loan's not in your name. There's nothing on your credit report. And recession comes, nobody's coming after you for any money when things go wrong. And, a lot of people go through life thinking they're actually in control when things are going to go wrong. You live long enough, that's baloney. I didn't start the recession, but it sure penalized the crap out of me. And I'm not going to forget where I was back when I had all this guaranteed debt doing real commercial real estate developments. I want people to operate without risk, and I mean without risk. And so I said, go out and get more real estate, but do it the right way. Don't guarantee debt to do it.
Yeah. So I took that lesson from you. I actually, on the 1st of every month right now, I make payments, non-guaranteed debt, to private lenders, collateral only, on 26 million. On the 1st of every month, I make my payment on 26 million. I owe about 80 people combined. Yeah. And so a lot of people don't believe that you can get I needed a whole different color money than the fix and flippers and the wholesalers. I didn't need money for 6 months in and out or 8 months or a year. I needed money for 10 and 15 years.
Yeah.
And I needed affordable money, and I needed it non-recourse, and I needed it wrappable. And
Yeah.
Even I had a limiting belief for many, many, many years until I just kind of worked my way down. I had 8% 5-year interest only money that was wrappable, non-recourse. And then I got so much of that, I started asking for 10-year money on a 15-year AM. And then I got too much of that. And then I just started asking for 15-year AM. And I started, what's funny? You get what you believe in and you ask for.
Yeah. But a lot of people, when we talk about private money, their big question is, well, who's going to loan you money for 15 years? And the answer is anybody that wants to get a good return on their money, but the 15-year period can easily be fixed, because I can't tell you how many times I've just taken one lender's loan and sold it to another lender to get the first lender paid when he has to have the money back. It ain't like the money's got to stay out there for 15 years if that person really needs that money back. That don't mean we have to put a balloon in it, but I always did tell my lenders, if you have to have this money back, you let me know. Now, of course, it's going to cost you 5 points if I have to go sell it to somebody else, but that I'm not going to do it for free. But they always got an exit strategy. I
understand. Same here. There's always someone getting paid off. One of my my buyers are inherently flawed, right? Or they wouldn't be borrowing my money at 10%.
Can't qualify the bank.
Yeah, they can't go to the bank. They'll never be able to go to a bank 95% of the time or 99% of the time. But what happens is they put the house up for sale, the realtor lists it, they find a new buyer who can get a loan, and now I'm getting called for a payoff. Well, that happens every month to me. So if someone really needs their money back, it's usually pretty easy to replace them with someone else. You know what I mean?
And we don't have to pay off the loan. I just assign the mortgage to another lender. It's that simple. That lender puts in the money to pay off the other lender. There's nothing to it really. It's one sheet of paper.
I had the belief that no one was going to want to do a 15-year loan. Yeah. And that limiting belief kept me not finding that money for a long time until I finally decided I was going to try. And guess who shows up? It's the 25, the 28, the 30, the 35-year-old, the 40-year-old who can't take their money out of their retirement plan till they're 59 and a half, and they got nothing but 15 years. And they'd rather just do one loan and forget it.
Yeah, and of course, there's about $15 trillion sitting in people's IRAs they don't know what to do with as well. The money's everywhere. Money's the easiest part of the equation because most people have no idea what to do with it. They hate letting it sit at the bank. So you and I both know getting private money has always been easy. I learned that way back in 1984. Actually, it took me 2 years to figure out I could get my own after I started. But in my world, Mitch, most of my deals come with terms. I don't have to even go raise the private money. I buy it with owner financing, or I take over their debt, and there's no private money required. So then I do that, and they just stick tenant buyer in it.
I got so used to having private lenders, and I got really good at finding them, that I forgot to even ask. I started to forget to even ask my sellers if they would finance me, which was a really bad mistake. I guess it all worked out fine, but what a shame. I wasn't even asking them anymore. We get kind of fall victim to our little habits, and then, so.
Yeah, well, there's no better financing than seller financing. And don't forget that there's a big discount potential at the end. I've never paid off a seller finance loan where I didn't get a discount. And so many times the profit on the back end was bigger than the profit on the front end with the discount.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, tell me if I'm wrong, but he's saying usually when the seller finances you the purchase of their property, by that, if you'll just let them know every year, hey, if you ever want this money early, let me know. And they always find a reason that they need the money early. And then you offer them, I can't give you all of it, but I'll give for a discount, I'll pay you off right now.
No, what I do is, first of all, I don't pay them off until my buyer tells me they're going to close the loan pretty soon.
Oh.
Then I call the seller and say, I got some money coming. And I was wondering, I'm trying to figure out who to pay off with this money, and I thought of you. Would you rather have cash now, or would you rather keep on collecting payments for the next number of years? Of course, what's the answer always? Well, of course. Well, if I paid you cash now, I'd have to have a pretty hefty discount. So if I did pay you off right now, what it would be the least you could take? And they'll give you an answer, and then, oh my God, that's the best you can do. I can do a lot better than that with cash. I got places to put it. So, got to do a lot better than that. So what's the absolute least you can take? And you'd be amazed at how far they'll drop. And then if they don't drop enough, I just come in with a number. Okay, I get them down as far as I can. And I can't give you what you want, but I could give you this if you want it. Got to make up your mind now, because I'm going to have to do something with this cash. Never fails. Never
So
fails.
true.
Huh?
Those seller finance notes never.
Yeah.
You never have to
But-
pay what the face amount is, hardly
But
ever.
but in reality, Mitch, probably about 75% of the houses that I buy come with a debt already on them. And we just wind up making that payment for that seller on that debt until it's paid off or way off into the future. And any money we owe the seller above that, we just do a wrap, and they wait till this thing gets cashed out for them to get that money that they have in the deal. So, everybody doesn't want to do owner financing, but there's a bunch of them out there that do, and there's a list this long of reasons why they'll do it. And
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation we're having. I certainly don't ever get to talk to Ron LeGrand enough. I could talk to him for a month straight, and we'd just be scratching the surface. But if you're interested in the creative real estate market, if you're interested in bettering yourself and learning something new or getting a coach, why don't you go to 1000houses.com/free consult, because Ron's offering a free consult from one of his course advisors, and they'll kind of figure out where you're at, where you might want to start. The man's up to here in the different courses he's taught. I mean, if there's anything you need to know about any aspect of it, I'm sure he's covered it, because you've had enough time to cover it, Ron.
well, it's not about my courses. This is actually a call to get acquainted and guide people who want to know how to get into the real estate business and what it takes and what to do next. That includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. Especially if they got questions about this stuff work in this hot market. Will it work here? Will it work for me? Will it work now? And they just need to go over all of the issues that are going around in their brain. Can you imagine how many things that you used to think were reality that today you laugh at? What you used to think.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And so this is a conference call to get you acquainted with what you need to do to get into the business. Nothing's going to be sold on this call, by the way. This is just a coaching call for you to help you get started if you have big questions on that. All it takes is an application, and we'll get back with you, set up a time. It'll be about a 30-minute consultation.
Yeah, so go to 1000houses.com/free consult if you want to get your hands on that application. Like you said, we're just talking about all these limiting beliefs, and that's really what a newbie, that's the problem of a newbie. They have either misinformation or they have super limiting belief system. Who's going to loan me money? Well, I have news for you. It's not about you. It's about the deal.
Yeah. And you don't need your money, and you don't need your credit. And, we have trouble making people understand how that's the case. Well, I bought over 3,000 houses. I quit counting 15 years ago at 3,000. I don't know how many, don't even care anymore. I don't use my money or credit. I don't, and I never really have. So if we bought that many houses and I got hundreds of thousands of students all over North America, maybe there's something to this no money and no credit stuff that you ought to investigate, because that's the way you should be buying properties, including the one you live in, Mitch. The one you live in. I want people to go out and buy beautiful homes in beautiful neighborhoods and pick one to live in. No guaranteed debt, nothing on the credit report, no 20% down, no bank to qualify for. In fact, I often tell people, I hope your credit score is minus 680, and then you won't be tempted to go apply for a loan.
Buying with other people's money and buying with non-recourse and collateral only money, or just non-guaranteed money, is a really huge peace of mind. It took me a long time to get my arms around that. It didn't take money to make money. So if it took money to make money, nobody I know in this business would be in this business, because none of them had any money.
Yeah. Well,
so when you don't have money, what happens, Ron? You got to trade your time and your expertise which means
Well,
you got to.
yeah, but in the world that we live in today, it's never been easier to buy houses. We're so systemized and automated today, Mitch. There ain't much for us to do except make decisions. Everything's done for you. We have VAs that make calls. We have a company outside that takes calls. We have a CRM system that runs your whole business for you. For crying out loud, there's not a lot for you. I mean, you and I go back to the days where we didn't have the internet. And I remember when I used to run classified ads in the newspaper, it cost me $850 a month just for that classified ad.
I think I like that better though, because I could wake up at 8 in the morning and by noon, no matter what day it was, I'd have a perfectly good deal. I mean, there was no one out there, and
Yeah.
if you screwed up, you got two deals and you didn't know how you're going to pay for them both.
Yeah. Well, the internet changed everything for sure, but today it's all automated.
People say it's a really hot market. How are you finding the deals? I can tell you this. I think I'm on a record pace this year. It's the end of the first quarter. We've already done 50 transactions. I'm used to doing about 100 transactions a year. That's where that's my comfort zone. I just stay there because my office can handle it. My infrastructure can handle it. I have enough private money to handle it. It all kind of fits right there for me. And that's where I like it. I'm sure there's someone out there doing 500 a minute, but I like my 100 houses. But it looks like this year we may go over that because, and I can't tell you exactly why, but I can tell you this. I don't live where it's good. I live where it's not good. I live in the divorce and the disease and I live where there's chaos, and there will always be chaos, and I don't cause that chaos. I just show up where it's happening. And that's where I find my deals. And because of people like you learning how to pull the certain kind of lists, how to search certain criteria, I know how to show up in those spaces.
I'm going to guess that you work in areas where you really would not want to live. Is that a good guess?
For a lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah. You're working in the low end of the market, which I have for a long, long time, but I mean, in terms business, I like the other end. Yes. But at the low end market is where you're going to find the deals that you buy and sell. They're most plentiful. They're the people that can't afford to fix them the most, have financial problems the most. And they're also the market where people can afford to buy a house, first time, last time home buyers. And so you've got both ends covered. And I absolutely agree with that, and would actually teach the same thing if I were doing what you're doing. And actually I do what you do, but I prefer to go in the medium price and above and do lease options. If I'm going to do the junker business, I want to be down below the medium price. Yeah. That's where the deals are.
Yeah. Well, affordable housing's, I mean, my town used to have the most affordable houses in the world, and it's stressing that strategy, so you have to do some other things, like maybe take a left turn into raw land or some subdividing, or mobile homes and land. Right now the mobile home and land is like the last bastion of affordable housing.
Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah, mobile homes are hot right now.
Yeah.
Hot. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, go to 1000houses.com/free consult. Get over there. If you're considering going into this industry, you owe it to yourself to get this 30 minutes and just see what Ron and his team have to say. His stuff has always been dead on. And I'll tell you a little secret. You're either going to pay for an education, or you're going to pay for a street to slap you all the way down to the other end of the city limits. I mean, it's going to wear you out. You're going to pay for a coach, or you're going to pay the street, and the street is ruthless.
Yeah. You're going to pay one way or another. I learned something way back. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Yeah. Yes. And you said that to me in 1996. And that's when I decided, you know what? I think I'm pretty ignorant right now. I better get my checkbook out and like hurry up and get some really good information that I can use. And when you really get the right people, when you're listening to someone who knows what they're doing, that money goes out, but it should come right back in if you're not a lazy and get off your ass and get off the sofa, because it's not whether this stuff works or not. The question is, do you work? That's the question. The question is, are you willing to go to work? Because there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people out there that prove that Ron's theories, my theory, I mean, none of us invented these theories. We might have invented some angles or caught on to them early, but it's there for everyone to use. And you just need a person like Ron LeGrand to show you, I don't know, decades and decades and decades of experience of how to do things so things go your way, and how not to do things, because if you do them the wrong way, they're going to go against you.
You know, I just started my 41st year at this. 41st year. Holy moly, where did it all go?
Well,
I mean,
and you have had tons of students, and you know, I've never been as prolific as you were, but I have my Tuesday night call and I have my stuff, and I learn a lot from my students. So usually if the teacher's paying attention and if he's got any brains at all, he'll be the smartest guy in the planet because he's getting the feedback from everybody.
Yeah. Well, you and I both touch a lot of people, but I can tell you one thing that I see over and over again. It's the only problem that we have to fix is between this earlobe and this earlobe. People coming at us from, well, you know, most of them come out with false beliefs. A lot of them come at us with dream stealers trying to take their dreams away. Some of them come at, they're all coming with fear of some sort. And that's one of the biggest things we have to fix is their fear. And sometimes when you ask them what they're afraid of, they don't even really know. They're just afraid to move forward. So first thing we got to work on is change your thinking. Change your thinking about real estate, and then change your thinking about what they're worthy of. How many people have you run across that really don't internally believe that they have the right to make a lot more money than they've ever made in the past, and they internally do everything to fight against it. So we push them, and of course that first check is the biggest one, isn't it? That's
Yes.
the shut up check. Shut up, go away, leave me alone. So that's one of the first ones we try to get people to do.
Yeah, I had to get that first check from my wife. I call it hush money.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Well,
here, I just made more than you make in a year this month. Now, hush up.
my first check, I spent it so fast, my wife didn't even know I had it till it was over, paying bills.
Little pent up demand there, Ron, a little pent up demand.
Yeah, that was 1982. Boy, I needed that check too. Yeah,
Yeah, all started over a washer and dryer.
yeah, it did for me. Really did.
Kind of
Couldn't afford to
pissed
buy
you
my
off.
wife a watch.
You had to struggle to get a new washer and dryer. Kind of made you mad, didn't it?
Yeah. How many times do you think I've looked back and wondered what would happen if I hadn't went to that first seminar in Miss Dallas on TV? My hero, J.R. Ewing, that night. It was a big decision. Do I go to the seminar? I know it's a scam. Or do I watch Dallas on TV?
That one decision changed the whole course of your life.
Not just my life, hundreds of thousands of lives since, because I didn't watch JR that night. I mean, everybody has that look back moment. What if I'd have done something different? And sometimes it's such a small marginal decision has such a huge impact on your life and other people's lives. So I'm glad I went.
All right, you guys, this is Mitch Stephen with 1000 Houses Podcast. I'm here with Ron LeGrand. I hope you had a good time. Please go to 1000houses.com/free consult and get 30 minutes with Ron's folks and see what the opportunities are out there. See how they can help you. See what they have for you, and go with an open mind. Don't go all boxed up. Don't go there like a fool, but go there with an open mind and just listen. It changed my life. I've been listening and working and practicing and studying Ron LeGrand since 1996 because it worked for me. And I'm always kind of fond, of Ron because I walked in his seminar one man and I walked out a different man, and I've been that different man ever since. And I'll never forget it ever. And I know a lot of people that have the same story. So 1000houses.com/free consult. Anything you want to say to the folks, Ron, before maybe we wrap it up today?
Well, I can just say one thing. First, we have to start with the education, but it's kind of worthless unless we do the implementation. And that's what we're so good at, is the helping you with the implementation, because we have so many years of building systems for you. And without systems, you're just going to be a chaotic mess trying to do everything. The hardest thing I learned, Mitch, was to actually get help. I didn't think anybody could do it except me. I had to do everything myself. My whole life was minutia until I finally figured it out, putting out one fire right after the other. And then I learned there's not one thing in my business that I can't actually get somebody else to do for me. And you know the same thing. But how many years did it take us to learn that? I hope you'll let other people do what they do best and get out of the way and let them do it. It costs pennies to do it. And frankly, now you got just take a focus on your whole business and not get caught up in the minutia. You can't be in minutia all day and get anything great accomplished.
Yep. It's kind of embarrassing sometimes, right, Ron? People go, well, where did you get your VAs? And like, I don't know. I don't know where I got them.
We got those for you. That ain't a problem. Plug right in those.
Does your CRM do this? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't ever use my CRM. My people use the CRM.
Our VAs will handle that for you. So
yeah.
Never been easier.
All right, Ron, it's a pleasure. And it is a new world out there. There's system software and there's plug and play. You just got to get with the people that have already done it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel because it's too big.
All right, sir.
All right, we're out of here. This is Mitch with 1000houses.com. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, Ron. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.